Hello. Well, this is another relatively short one from a few days ago. It's a flood match. And yeah, again, we've got Bar on the same team. We've got a newbie named Fishbong who played pretty well. The rest of them are mostly a bunch of regulars. And yeah, I'm sitting there checking out the windows and the masonry and so on. What was the feature of this match that stuck out was oh yeah, Bar criticized my orb running technique here. I spent almost this entire match running the orb. I tend to do that sometimes on this map. If no one else is running the orb, yeah, I'll run it over and over, sure. Because I think I know where to go with it, basically. And what to do with it when I get there. Yeah, Bar disagreed with me, which is unusual. I mean, I think, Bar has a hell of a lot of sense about, where to carry the orb and what to do with it and so on, and, I agree with him most of the time. I agree with him here, too, really. I mean, his big problem with me this time was that at some point, I'll have to point it out when I get there. At some point, I was in a hurry and I ran over to the flood with the orb, and there were a couple of blue people over there shooting it down because it was red, and they managed to shoot it down completely just before I got there. In fact, it actually went down like a second before I leaped on it and capped it. Oh, Bar was not pleased. He felt that I should have hung back there and held on to the orb and just held the node while they built it, so that we could then run the orb elsewhere. Which, in retrospect, yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, that makes all kinds of sense. That's probably what I should have done. But generally, I tend to get into sort of an automatic mode with the orb here. Generally. It's not that often that I'm in a... Oh, this is terrible. I thought for sure that Viper was going down, but... yeah, and here I'm just fumbling with the controls. And I'm looking for the sniper, but he's moving around too fast, and now I'm taking damage, so I just need to get the hell out of here and get the orb back into prime before it goes down.
Attack the floodgate.
Yeah, and I didn't have much health, so that's why I capped right there, is I just wanted to get rid of the orb. I didn't want to drop it. Have somebody, If I cap the node right there, at least there's a shield on it for a few seconds, and I can go back and get the orb with a full 100 points on me. And there, yeah, I'm gonna cap because that's a node with a full load on it. There's nobody shooting at it. Generally, I get into an automatic mode here. I'm just gonna cap and go back and get it again. I tend to do that more than anything else. Yeah, there's instances where I'll sit there and I'll try to hold it, but I tend to shy away from that under most circumstances. Yeah, I understand. There's circumstances where that's a good thing to do. But against that, like right there, the red node was weak, but there were a couple of red people defending it. And if I'd held back there and tried to shoot it down while they're shooting at me, I would have just gotten killed and we wouldn't have capped at all. And then since the red prime was up, they could have then took center. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to cap. Likewise here, I'm just going to cap this one. There's no one there shooting at it. It's got a full load of health on it. I'm not going to sit there and take time out to try to knock it down and build it up again, because I want to get back here and run the orb somewhere else, like to enemy prime. Now in this case, Bar has taken it to the flood, which under a lot of circumstances I would criticize, because I think that's a long time to try to hold the flood with the orb. In this case, yeah, I'd say yeah, it's not a bad plan. The important thing is, because you can win that way. You can actually win that way. The important thing... Oh, I completely missed that shot. The important thing is that if you're going to try to hold the flood with the orb, you have to be able to hang on to the other nodes. What usually happens a lot of times when you get inexperienced players trying to hold flood with the orb is that they'll do that and pay no attention to the rest of the map, and the rest of the team is incapable of holding the rest of the map. So while they're sitting there for 60 seconds holding that flood, waiting to get their precious 20 points, the other team meanwhile just takes the entire map and starts doing massive damage to your core. See, that's the risk you're taking when you sit there and hold the flood like that. You can win like that, but your team has to be able to at least hold their own prime. Me, I'd rather not do that. In this case, we're okay with it. You know, we're not really losing the map. Me, I think it's safer to just not try to hold the flood, but simply keep the other team from taking it. Just cap it as necessary, which works pretty well, except when the other team puts a lot of defense at the flood. But then again, if they do that, then you want to respond by putting just enough, by making just enough effort to run that orb to the flood, and at the same time you want to make a lot of effort at taking the rest of the map. Because if they're putting everything they got on that flood, that's less for them to hold the center and their prime. If you get their prime, you can do all kinds of damage on that on the core in the time it takes them to get their precious 20 points. This is bad. I'm not doing too well at capping the prime this time. I got knocked down the first time. The center went down right there. Rather than run all the way over the center when there's no, rather than run all the way over the center when they only just took it, I'm gonna get the flood out of the way, just cap it and get out of there with it, and then try to take center back again, and we'll see if I can make it this time. I don't think that I will. Yeah, here we go. Still haven't got to the little episode. Yeah, that's what I don't like to say. Not a whole lot of taxing going on, but there are not that many players in this match, so that's pretty much why. And it's
attack the floodgate node.
Okay, here we go. There's 34, 33, 32 seconds on the flood. Need to get over there. I'm in a hurry to get there. There's people shooting at it here, but they're also shooting at the prime. So yeah, I was in a hurry here. Yeah, see, it went down just before I got there and I capped. See, now, I'll agree with him on that. Yeah, I could have held on to that. I could have held on to that and gone straight back to the prime. But really, well, yeah, especially given since that vehicle was sitting up there waiting for me, it would have been a good idea to hang on to it at flood and go back to the prime with it.
Is under attack.
But it would have worked out if that vehicle hadn't been up there. I mean, it's almost as close to the prime from here as it is from the flood. And when you jump the orb back to the prime, you're tending to get a clean start anyway, as opposed to having to make the run from flood, where you're likely to have people coming in on you because they know where the orb is.
Red core is heavily damaged.
Well, Bar was not pleased. I didn't think it was a huge deal. I mean, I didn't put a whole lot of thought going into it. I was just sort of in automatic mode. It's cap and get back and run it again. Which is what I tend to do. Yeah, I can see his point. I have to defer because he does have a lot of sense with it as far as where the orb is concerned. We are going to win though. This was kind of our low point. Yeah, I agree. We did kind of. It was looking a little iffy at that point. I mean, I think we might. Yeah, we probably would have been in a better spot at that point. I think. Because from the flood, I would have been able to get back to the prime, whereas from the core, I had that vehicle shoot me down. So yeah. But it's okay, And in that case, I didn't need Bar to tell me it was a good idea not to cap the orb not to cap the flood right there, because I need to get back to prime with it, definitely. Although I may not make it this time. Yeah, I got to go back around the other way, don't I? It's always a good idea to have some judgment about that. Some people will rush blindly forward, I will make it or die, and then they die, see? No, it's better to say, let me go the other way, so at least I make it, you know? It might take a couple seconds longer, but let's get the job done, you know? What am I sitting here with, 1 point? Yeah, that's not so good. But what the hell, I'm gonna run it again. Well, somebody else may take it. Or not. They really should, because I'm sitting here with 16 hit points, and I'm probably not the ideal candidate. Oh, there's a guy with a sniper rifle back there. That's not so good. Let me see if I can get... No, not going to make that. No. Really not a good idea to try to run the orb with 16 hit points. You may not make it You may not make it through there. Did I say that was our low point earlier? I'd say this is our low point. I have a sort of a choice here. I can cap the prime to keep them from taking points off the core, or I can cap blood to keep us from losing 20 points. So I decided I better cap the prime. And yeah, I would definitely want to cap the prime under those circumstances because I'm kind of in a hurry. Yeah, I like doing that. That's a great way to use your sniper rifle right there. Because when there's somebody sailing away on his little hoverboard there, you don't really have to kill him. You just have to nick him a little bit, and that'll knock him right off his board. And you can lead him a little bit, and when he crosses your line of fire, just pop him right off of there. It's an easy shot to do. Knocks him off his board, and then you can finish him off with whatever other weapon you got. Okay, we're starting to get somewhere here. I'm thinking I'm going to get a really great play out of this, and I am going to knock down the node. Yeah, there we go. But there's some wiseacre out here giving me trouble. I'm going to get his buddy there. Not quite going to manage to get him. Well, I did get him, actually, but he knocked me down, too, which is going to leave nobody at the center, so... Yeah, it could be worse. If somebody else on blue is paying attention... Well, we're getting ready to win anyway. We got people hanging around the flood. All we got to do at this point is time out the flood, and I can see that. That's exactly where I'm going now.
I have the orb.
Yeah, here we go. It's gonna. Oh, I got there just before the red orb did. See there? At least they were smart enough not to ignore the flood that time. But it's way too late. They're down to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yep, that's it. All right. Okay, we'll have you.
Attack the floodgate node.